those of you who don't know me, my name is Lilly Perez, and my presentation today is going to be on domestic violence. Did you know that every 9 seconds a woman in the U.S. is assaulted or beaten? That's right, it's every 9 seconds. Every day in the U.S., more than 3 women are murdered by their husbands or boyfriends. According to Alliance Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, domestic violence is a pattern of behavior in any intimate relationship that is used to gain power and control over a partner. Abuse can be physical, it can be sexual, emotional, economic, verbal, or psychological actions or threats of actions that influence another person. This includes any behaviors that frighten, intimidate, terrorize, manipulate, hurt, humiliate, blame, injure, or wound someone. Domestic violence knows no boundaries. It does not care what race, age, gender you are, or if you're married, living with someone, or just dating someone. It also doesn't respect your socioeconomic backgrounds or educational levels. Sadly, domestic violence is a silent killer. Many people are afraid to come forward and seek help. Less than 40% of incidents are reported. A few days ago, I attended a presentation given by the Alliance. It included a lieutenant from Bakersfield Police Department, and also a district attorney was present, an assistant district attorney. They shared a shocking fact with us. Last year in the city of Bakersfield, the Bakersfield Police Department had 3,200 cases of domestic violence and sexual assault. That's in 1 year. If statistics are right and only 40% of cases are reported, then there was at least 7,000 cases or incidents just here in Bakersfield. Even in our small community here in Delano, we have seen our share of domestic violence. In less than 2 months, we've had 2 fatalities as a result of domestic violence. I'm going to share an article with you from our local newspaper, Delano Now. On March 30th, 2013, an article was submitted by Sergeant Peter Lopez, the Investigative Division from Delano Police Department A. Investigators said officers responded to an assault in progress in the 600 block of 7th Avenue in Delano at about 5:06 in the morning. When officers arrived, a man was stabbing a woman victim inside the home. The officers ordered him to stop, but he continued the assault. An officer then shot the man. Emergency medical personnel responded to the scene and pronounced Torino Martinez Guevara, 46, dead from a gunshot injuries. The 27-year-old woman suffered stab wounds to her face and head area from the attack. She was taken to Kern Medical Center by ambulance, where she is listed now in stable condition. So as you can see, this happens even in our own backyard. Boys who witness domestic violence are twice as likely to abuse their own partners, and children when they become adults. They're 2 times as likely. I'd like to share a poem with you. You may have heard it before. Children Learn What They Live by Dorothy Law Nolt, PhD. If children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with fear, they learn to be apprehensive. If children live with pity, they learn to feel sorry for themselves. If children live with ridicule, they learn to feel shy. If children live with jealousy, they learn to feel envy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with tolerance, they learn patience. If children live with praise, they learn appreciation. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with recognition, they learn it is good to have a goal. If children live with sharing, they learn generosity. If children live with honesty, they learn truthfulness. If children live with fairness, they learn justice. If children live with kindness and consideration, they learn respect. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and those about them. If children live with friendliness, they learn the world is a nice place in which to live. And I'd like to share one more story with you. It's very, very personal, so please bear with me if I get emotional. In the summer of 2007, my family and I vacationed to Mexico. My ex-brother-in-law was getting married, so it was supposed to be a joyous time. We attended the wedding. It was my ex-husband and I and my children, and the ceremonies had ceased, so we were on our way back to our hotel. I was driving because my ex-husband had been drinking, and at the time I think he was more than likely under the influence of drugs as well. So I'm driving, and I had my two girls, many of you have seen them, and they were in the back seat, and an argument arose, and it was over a misunderstanding. I can't remember exactly what it really was about. All I remember, it was something that somebody had looked at me a certain way, and I had no idea. I had no idea who he was talking about or what was going on, but he asked me to pull over, and I did. I pulled over in a remote area. I mean, I'm in Mexico. This is not where my family's from. I had no idea where I was really at. And so I pulled over, and he snapped. And he lunged over. He put his hands around my neck, and he squeezed. And the last thing I remember is his face, so full of hatred. And he squeezed until I passed out. I can't tell you how long I was out. I really don't know. But when I was coming to, I could hear my little girls crying. They thought he had taken my life. So, as you can see, domestic violence is a silent killer. A lot of us don't come forward, and a lot of us don't say anything. We hold it in our hearts. And the therapy, the intense therapy that my children and I have had to go through, I can't even begin to tell you. But we are slowly on the road to recovery, and I truly stand here before you today by the grace of God, because if it was up to somebody else, I wouldn't be here. But the good Lord wants me here, and I feel that in a sense, He kept me for a bigger reason, and that's why I chose this topic. Although I know it's difficult for a lot of people to talk about, it's something that's out there. So I encourage you to really take a stand against domestic violence and see what you can do. Talk to your local legislators, see what's being done, what laws are being written. I know in California we just passed a new law. To really see, I mean, we have a great organization, the Alliance. Even if it's a small donation you can make, it'll make a big difference in these women's lives. We have a shelter there in Bakersfield, and it's a private shelter. Nobody knows where it's at, but it's somewhere where these women can go. So I stand here before you, not as a victim. I never want to look at myself as a victim, but as a survivor. Thank you for your time.